abandon the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal.
Jeannie, what's the matter?
Good morning, Miss Wells.
Good morning, Chester. Matt, I've got to talk to you.
Sure. Chester?
You folks will have to excuse me. I can't be puttering around the office all day. I'll be in the back if you want me.
Yeah?
Matt, he's here in Dodge City. I just saw him. He came in on the morning train.
You mean Ed Beaudry?
Yes. It's been 4 years, Matt. I'd begun to hope he'd forget. Hope he wouldn't find us.
From what you've told me, Beaudry doesn't sound like a man who ever forgets.
He's come here looking for Bert. To kill him, he swore he would. Matt, what are we going to do?
I don't know. What's Bert think about it?
He doesn't know yet. He's busy at the blacksmith shop. Matt, you've got to help us. You're the only real friend we have out here.
It might make it easier if I weren't, Jeannie. I'm supposed to maintain law and order in Dodge. That's my job. Doesn't leave much leeway to mix in on personal quarrels.
Well, there's no quarrel. It's just that Ed Beaudry's a hot-tempered fool. Bert never did anything to him.
He married you, didn't he?
A woman has a right to change her mind, Matt.
Maybe Beaudry doesn't think so.
Matt, you promised me once in Louisville.
Yeah, I know. All right, Jeannie, go on home and don't say anything to Bert. I'll talk to Beaudry.
Thank you. I'll never forget it. Goodbye, Matt.
Chester.
Yes, sir. I'll be right there, Mr. Dillon. Did Miss Wells leave?
Yeah.
Fine couple, the Wellses. Did you know them before they came out west?
Not Bert. I knew Mrs. Wells. I guess we better drop over to the Texas Trail, Chester. There's a fella in town planning to do some killing.
Matt, been a long time.
Hiya, Kitty.
Hello, Chester.
Miss Kitty?
Come sit down, Matt. Tell me about things.
I can't right now, Kitty. We're looking for a fella. Thought he might have come in here.
Sooner or later, they all do. Stranger, Matt?
Yeah. He came in on the morning train. His name's Ed Beaudry.
Oh, him. There, the bar, Matt. Third from the end, next to Tulsa Jim Nixon. He's buying Irish whiskey for everybody.
Thank you, Kitty. Come on, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Watch yourself, Matt.
Yeah, sure, Kitty. I'll see you later.
All right, bartender, set up another round of Jamesons for the house.
Your name, Beaudry?
Well, that's right, mister.
Matt Dillon. I'm a U.S. Marshal here. I'd like to talk to you.
Fine, go ahead and talk.
Tulsa, suppose you'll move on down the bar for a couple of minutes, huh?
Oh, what's the idea, Marshal? This man's a friend of mine.
You're not very particular about your friends. Now go on, Tulsa. Drift. Mr. Beaudry, you came here to kill Bert Wells, didn't you?
Did I?
Well, here's some advice. Don't do it. Take the next train and get out of town.
Is that official? Just what's the charge, Marshal?
None. Yet. Murder if you go through it.
Well, not the way I understand it. Murder's one thing. Calling a man in a fair fight, that's another thing.
Baudry, I'm the law here in Dodge, and I don't see it as a fair fight. Bert's a blacksmith, and he's not used to handling a gun. You are. Or so I'm told.
Who told you, Marshal? I don't know anybody here. Wait a minute. Dillon? Yeah. I heard Jeannie mention you. You knew her back in Louisville before she ran off.
We'll leave her out of this, Baudry.
So that's it. This isn't official. You're just doing a personal favor for an old friend. Probably a very close friend. Jeannie always did have a weakness.
I warned you once. All right, hold it. Now get up, Baudry.
That was a mistake, Dillon. Now I'll have to kill you, too.
I'm not a blacksmith, Baudry.
I'll look you up just soon as I've finished with Bert Wells.
If you kill Bert, you won't have to look me up. Bert.
Huh? Oh, Matt. I didn't see you come in.
I wanted to talk to you, Bert.
About what, Matt?
Ed Baudry's in town.
Baudry? Well, it was bound to happen sometime. Has he been bothering Jeannie?
No, she just happened to see him get off the train this morning. She came and told me.
She shouldn't have done it, Matt. It's not your problem.
Maybe it is, Bert. I'm the law in Dodge, and the law doesn't like the idea of personal grudges ended up in a killing.
What do you aim to do?
Yeah, prevent it if I can.
Well, I wish you luck.
You haven't worn that gun for 2 years, Bert. Why start now?
I've got no choice, Matt. You know that.
You mean you got no chance? If you let Baudry call a showdown, he'll kill you.
Maybe.
Look, Bert, why don't you take to the prairie, hole up for a week or so while I figure some way of running Baudry out of town, huh?
Would you do it, Matt? Hide out and let somebody else do your fighting for you?
Well, what I'd
That's
do is...
beside the point, Bert.
Jeannie.
There's a law against killing. And it's Matt's job to enforce it. If you went away, there wouldn't be any fight.
Wouldn't be much honor either, Jeannie. Man can't run and still call himself a man.
He can run from a mad dog. And that's what Ed Baudry is. He never had any claim on me.
It appears he thought he did. Matt, you know where Baudry's stand?
I talked to him in the Texas Trail. He probably took one of the rooms upstairs.
Like to walk over there with me?
Well, if that's the way you want it.
No, Bert, you...
I'll get my hat. Be right with you.
Matt, you've got to stop it.
Yeah? How?
I don't know. But there must be something you can do.
Yeah, there is. The way it's shaping up, I can probably arrest the survivor. There's still time to turn back, Bert.
Afraid not, Matt. I should have had it out with Baudry back there in Kentucky 5 years ago. Jeannie wanted to run away and avoid trouble, and she was so beautiful it was hard to argue with her.
Yeah, I know. Be hard on her if anything happened to you.
Life's always hard on a woman, I guess. Worse out here on the prairie. Look out for her, Matt, in case I... Well, I mean if anything.
Mr. Dillon?
Huh? Oh, what is it, Chester?
Baudry left the saloon a little while ago. Went over to the livery stable to hire a horse.
Oh?
I think he's riding out to your place, Mr. Wells. He's been doing a lot of talking.
Jeannie will be there alone, Matt. I better get back home.
Won't be necessary. Here comes Baudry now.
I won't draw unless he does, Matt.
Heads up, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. Oh. Just riding out to call on you, Wells. I decided you'd had plenty of time to look me up.
No reason to, Baudry.
Most men would figure they had reason. Somebody been in a local saloon, telling their wife's history.
Baudry, you...
All right, hold it. Don't draw, Bert. Chester, cover Baudry.
Just keep your hands still, Mr. Baudry.
You're fast with that gun, Dillon.
Fast enough, Mr.
You make
Baudry.
a good bodyguard. Too bad you can't ride her 24 hours a day.
I told you what to expect if you keep pushing this thing, Mr. Baudry. Now use some sense and get out of town while you're still alive.
I've been in lots of towns, Dillon. I left them all alive. Wells, I've been planning to kill you for 5 years.
Plans don't always work out.
Listen, Will. You got till sundown. After that, I'm going to shoot you on sight.
All right, Mr. Baudry. If you've finished speaking your piece, move along.
Why, surely, Mr. Dillon. See you later.
Well, still a couple of hours before sundown. I think I'd like to spend them with Jeannie. I'll see you, Matt.
Yeah, sure. Goodbye, Bert.
I declare I just can't see any way of stopping it, Mr. Dillon.
I can't either.
I'd sure hate to be in Bert Wells' shoes.
I'd hate worse to be in Baudry's. He'll never submit to arrest. Chester, I'm going to have to kill him.
Why don't you relax, Matt? You're nervous as a cat.
Yeah, and I'll stay nervous, Kitty, until I find out what's happened to those two.
Baudry slipped out the back way just at dusk. Piano player saw him.
Yeah. Well, Bert pulled the same trick. I had a couple of boys watching the blacksmith shop, but he managed to give them the slip.
There's nothing you can do now, Matt.
Well,
Another killing. And you in the middle again. Why, Matt? Why do you do it?
it's a job, Kitty. Somebody's got to do it.
But why you? There are other things in life if you look around for them.
Well, maybe I will someday.
Will you look my way, Matt?
Well, Matt, I brought my kit. I'm all prepared. Where are the victims?
No victims yet, Doc. You're jumping the gun.
Well, I understand it's going to be a real showdown. The boys at the bar are offering 2-1 on Baudry.
That's about the odds I figure if the shooting really starts.
Oh, it'll start all right. Oh, there's not a thing in the world can stop it.
Chester, what are you doing in here? I told you to watch that street.
Yes, sir, I know you did.
The fight's as likely to start out there as any place else.
No, sir, Mr. Dillon. I guess there's not going to be any fight.
What?
They just found Baudry lying in an alley down the block.
Matt.
Somebody sneaked up behind him with a hammer. He's sure dead. No light showing around the house, Mr. Dillon.
No. Nor the shop either. He might have skipped out.
Well, what about his wife, though?
I don't know, Chester. I can't figure any of this. It's not like Bert to pull a sneaking trick like that.
Hold it. Don't move.
He's there by the tree, Chester.
Yes, sir.
Bert,
Who is it? Who's that?
Matt. Chester's with me. You better put away the gun.
All right, Matt. thought it was somebody else.
Who, Bert?
Well, you know who. Beaudry, of course.
Guess I better take your gun.
Official, Matt?
Official.
Well, I got no quarrel with the law. Here.
Thank you. Now, why did you do it?
What do you mean?
If it had been a gunfight, the law couldn't have touched you. Now, the circumstances are all in your favor. But this way they'll call it murder, and they'll be right, because that's what it was.
Matt, what are you talking about?
It's no use. You left the hammer lying right beside his body. It's got your sharp brand carved in the handle of it.
Whose body you talking about? You mean Beaudry?
Yeah, sure, Beaudry.
Matt, you're making a mistake. I went looking for Beaudry, yes, but I didn't find him. Then I come back here. I was afraid to leave Jeannie there in the house alone. I didn't do it, Matt. You're wrong.
It's not up to me, Bert. It's the court's job. All I can do is take you in. The evidence is too strong, and I got no choice.
No choice. I didn't have a choice either. We must have had a choice somewhere back down the line. When? Where was it we could have stopped and turned back?
I'm a marshal, not a philosopher. Now, let's go.
What about Jeannie? I got to tell her.
Chester will take care of it.
Be better if you do it, Matt. You're a friend. That'd make it easy.
I'd rather not if you don't mind. Now, come on, let's go. All right, Bert, step inside.
4 years we've been friends, Matt. I never thought it would come to this.
Neither did I.
You said you didn't find any money on him. It could have been robbery.
I made to look like robbery. But either way, there's nothing I can do. Now, you better step inside. I'll bring you some blankets and tobacco. If you want anything else, let me know.
Wish I knew how Jeannie was taking it.
She'll be all right. She's a fine girl.
Matt, look out for her, will you?
Bert, a man's job is one thing, friendship's another. This prairie country is rough and tough and wild at the best. And without the law, nobody could survive in it. And that means putting friendship aside sometimes. But a man still doesn't forget. Yeah, I'll look out for her.
Thanks, Matt.
I'll see you later.
Well, you get your prisoner tucked in safely, Matt?
What about Beaudry?
He's dead. Absolutely dead. Like I never saw anybody any deader. Blacksmith hammer makes a mighty fine weapon.
Yeah, at least for sneaking up behind.
I can't figure Bert doing that's not like him.
Sometimes a man changes under pressure, Doc. Yeah, I can't figure it either.
What would you say his chances are?
Bad. Straws all point one way.
Yes, maybe somebody's been messing with the straw stack.
Who?
That's a good question, man.
Well, the court will ask it.
Yeah, if he ever gets there.
What do you mean?
I just come from Texas Trail a while ago, and some of the boys are kind of riled up. They're talking real loose.
No law against talking.
Doubt if they aim to leave it at talking, Matt. They figure the evidence is a little on the weak side. A court might turn Bert loose, so they're saying it's up to them.
Yeah, they're just mad because they lost their source of free drink.
Well, maybe so, but you better keep your eyes open, Matt.
Yeah, I know that pack, Doc. They hunt in the dark and pull down stragglers, and mostly they just talk. So don't worry. Bert's in jail, and that's where he's going to stay.
Matt? Matt, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Wait a minute, I'll light the lamp.
What were you doing sitting here in the dark?
Yeah, just thinking, wondering. You shouldn't have come here, Jeannie.
Matt, I want to see Bert.
No visitors after dark. It's a jail rule.
Rules don't have to be enforced.
Mine do. Bert's a prisoner, same as any other prisoner. He's charged with murder.
He didn't do it, Matt.
It's not for me to say.
But you know he didn't. You know Bert. You know he wouldn't do a thing like that. Sneak up behind a man's back in the dark.
I'm not the court, Jeannie.
I know. And they'll believe he did it.
Yeah, the night train's coming in. Hope it's not bringing in trouble.
The morning train did. Matt, I want to see Bert.
I told you that you... Why, you little fool. Give me the gun,
No.
Jeannie.
I warn you, Matt. Stay
Give
back.
me the gun.
No, Matt. So help me,
I said hand it over.
You knew I wouldn't shoot.
Yeah. Now, what did you hope to gain by
I
that?
don't know. Get Bert out. Maybe I don't know. None of this is his fault. Something's got to be done. Matt, you've got to help me.
Easy.
Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, what is it, Chester?
I just come from the Texas Trail. I think there's going to be some trouble.
Trouble?
The bunch that hangs out around there are doing a lot of drinking and talking up the idea of coming over here to the jail.
Oh, no.
Well, maybe we ought to go over there and do some talking ourselves. Jeannie, I think the best thing for you to do is to go back home and stay there till morning. Now, don't worry about this. Nothing's going to happen.
Oh, but, Matt, you can't handle that crowd alone.
I've been handling things alone for a long time. All right, Chester.
Tulsa Jim Nixon's the one who's been egging them on, Mr. Dillon. Over there at the end of the bar.
Yeah, he struck up an acquaintance with Beaudry when he first got off the train. Guess he figures he's an old partner by now. Well, come on.
Yes, sir.
Matt, wait.
Later, Kitty, I got some business with the boys at the bar.
That's what I mean. Tulsa Jim's been buying them drinks for the last 2 hours. They're in a real nasty mood.
So?
So be careful, Matt. That's all. Just be careful.
Kitty, I'm the carefulest man you know.
Sure. We got the law here in Dodge. Supposedly. But what kind of a law is it that lets a man sneak up behind somebody in the dark and murder him in cold blood?
I don't know, Tulsa. Suppose you tell me.
Dillon.
Now, don't let me interrupt you. You were doing fine. Well, this is quite an audience you got. All the panhandlers, bums, and barflies in Dodge. It's quite a collection.
Well, calling names won't change the facts, Dillon.
What facts?
A friend of yours, Bert Wells, that sneaking, cowardly murderer.
That's for the court to decide, Tulsa.
The court. They'll turn them loose. They work hand in glove with you. Dillon, we're not going to stand for it.
All right, shut up! So you're not going to stand for it, huh? Well, just what are you planning to do?
You'll find out in due time, Dillon. Oh, I tend to set them up again all around.
Yeah, you've turned into quite a free spender, Tulsa. I never knew you to... A double eagle gold piece. You mind if I take a look at it?
It's good. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Where'd you get it?
That's my business, Dillon.
So you're the one who killed Beaudry.
That's a lie.
I thought robbing him was just a cover-up, but it wasn't. There aren't many double eagles around Dodge. Beaudry had a lot of them. Now you. Why would you get a pocket full of gold pieces, Tulsa?
Wells killed Beaudry. The blacksmith hammer was lying right beside him.
Yes, where you left it.
What does she mean?
Tulsa Jim came into my husband's shop late this afternoon. His horse had thrown a shoe. He had plenty of chance to steal that hammer.
She's lying.
Where did you get the gold, Tulsa?
A lie. I won it in the poker game. Last week when the trail herd would...
Tulsa, you're under arrest for murder.
Oh. No, you'll never take me! Get down!
All right, Doc. You better get up an inquest.
Confound it, Matt. You never give me any chance to practice on live people.
You wouldn't know what to do with them, Doc.
Well, I do get fewer complaints this way.
Matt, does this mean that Bert's free?
You shouldn't have come here, Jeannie. Yeah, he's free. Chester will go with you over to the jail and let him out.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for everything. You told me one time in Louisville that...
Louisville? That was a long time ago and a long way off. So, goodbye, Jeannie.
Goodbye, Matt.
What's it all about, Matt?
What? What's anything all about, Kitty? Professor, what do you say we'll just have a little tune, huh?
Why, sure thing, Mr. Dillon. What'd you like to hear?
Oh, how about that one of Foster's? Jeannie. Jeannie with the light brown hair.
You bet.
You knew her before, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, I met her in Louisville one summer. Saw her quite a lot for a couple of months. And then I drifted out west.
A man misses out on things by drifting.
I told her then if she ever needed help to call on me.
Well, she called, and you helped her.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, anyway, that's that.
Matt,
Yeah. Yeah, Kitty.
when are you going to help yourself?
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by Les Crutchfield, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in our cast were Tom Tully, Lynn Allen, Larry Dobkin, Georgia Ellis, and Barney Phillips. Parley Bear as Chester, and Howard McNear as Doc. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke. Around Dodge City and in the territory on west, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with the U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. The story of a man who moved with it. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. Oh, boy. Oh. Wild Hog? Wild Hog, that's you? Wild Hog, you there?
Who are you? Put that spear down. And listen, Wild Hog and me are friends, big friends.
You'll make much noise.
You're Cheyenne, ain't you? You must be with Wild Hog.
What name, you white man?
I'm Ord Spicer. Ord Spicer, you hear? You bother me and you'll be in big trouble with Wild Hog.
No trouble.
Tell these other redskins to put their spears down. I need more room.
Come, white man.
Are you with Wild Hog or ain't you?
Much talk, come.
All right. Any tricks, I'll shoot you first. No one around here. Where is he?
Horse here, you walk.
Blasted, why can't he ride out like anybody else? I want to be in Dodge tonight.
Come.
Wild Hog? It's me. It's Ord Spicer, all right.
Yes.
These braves of yours sure keep you covered. You can't tell one from another, except you, of course. I even thought maybe I'd run into the wrong Indians.
No moon tonight.
Oh, I recognized them as Cheyennes, all right, but you never know with...
With what, Spicer?
Nothing, Wild Hog. Forget it.
You never know with Indians.
Now, Wild Hog, you and me are friends. Don't get so touchy. I didn't mean nothing.
We are not friends. I pay you. That is all.
Sure we're friends. You're about the most educated Indian I ever met, that's why.
I learn only English from the white man. Nothing else.
Well, you sure had a good teacher, fella.
General Custer, many bitter moons ago. I was a scout.
Don't matter. I never heard of him.
He was killed.
Well, that's nothing to do with me. You got the money, Wild Hog?
Yes. Here. $500.
500? Our deal was for 1,000.
You will get the rest later.
But I'm running a big risk for you Cheyennes. This is mighty dangerous work, Wild Hog.
It will be even more dangerous if we do not meet again, Spicer.
Oh, Wild Hog, you can trust me. I'll be back, you know that.
Yes. When?
Ooh, 2-3 days. Where'll I find you?
Make camp near here. We'll find you.
Okay. I'll get on into Dodge now. Goodbye, Wild Hog.
Don't get drunk, Spicer.
Never touch it. Hey, bartender, set out another bottle of whiskey for me and my friend.
What'd you say you're called, stranger?
Ord Spicer, friend. Mm-hmm. Here, let me fill your glass. Some town you got here, Dodge.
You're sure easy with your money, Spicer.
Nothing's too good for my friend. Say, what name you go by anyway?
You got a lot of money, Spicer.
Sure, I got money. I'll have more soon.
You must have hit it rich, huh?
Sure, I hit it rich. Easy money, friend. Easy money.
How'd you do it, Spicer, anyway?
Friend, I live like a gambler. My life's chicken one day and feathers the next. Right now, it's all chicken.
Yeah, but how'd you do it? You made out real good, Spicer.
Brains and guts, friend. Brains and guts. That's all it takes.
I know.
I know, but how? You don't get money like that robbing old Indians.
What's that?
Huh?
What'd you say about Indians?
Oh, it's just a way of saying it back home. Don't get on the pride about it.
Maybe you talk too much. Maybe you ask too many questions.
Hey, what's the matter with you anyway?
Maybe you know too much.
Look, Spicer, you're hiding something. Don't trouble yourself. I ain't interested in you or your money or your liquor.
I don't like that.
You don't have to.
You bet I don't.
Keep your eyes right on mine, Spicer. I want to watch you die. Spicer.
How's our prisoner, Chester?
I got 2, Mr. Dillon.
You got 2?
Yes, sir. There's that Ord Spicer fella you locked up, and then there's a drunk who tried to buffalo me after you went to bed.
No? Did you have any trouble with him?
A little, Mr. Dillon. He tried to hit me on the head with his 6-gun.
Well, you look all right.
Oh, he didn't do it, sir. I bit his thumb and kneed him at the same time.
Well, that's quite a trick, Chester. You must have been practicing.
No, sir, I haven't been practicing. But I had it all thought out.
I see. All right, let's turn Spicer loose.
I'll go get him, Mr. Dillon.
About time. Where's my gun, Marshal?
There it is, Spicer. And, don't use it around here anymore.
You can't bother a man for self-defense.
I just want you to stay out of Dodge. 1 kill at your limit here, even in self-defense.
I ain't afraid of you, Marshal. Besides, this is a poor town anyways. You can have it.
My, that man would kick a hog barefooted.
He sure would, Chester.
There's something real bad about him.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, Chester, and I hope I don't have to find out.
Well, you'll go away. Fellows like that got to keep moving. Seems like nobody wants him.
Now, don't feel sorry for him, Chester. He got that way all by himself.
Yes, sir. I mean, no, sir.
Morning, Marshal.
Those greeners get here yet, Jack?
Yep. Come in on the Santa Fe yesterday, Marshal. 4 of them. Right back here.
Oh, good.
Beautiful guns, ain't they? Just beautiful.
You're a good storekeeper, Jack, but I only need 2 of them.
Well, I can make you a good price on all 4, Marshal.
Well, it wouldn't be any good if I don't need 4, would it?
Well, maybe not, but I never know. I got half a dozen 44 Sharps rifles, same shipment. Thought I'd be stuck with them forever. Well, with the big 50 out now, there ain't a Buffalo hunter to use a 44 anymore.
I don't see any 44s.
Well, that's just what I'm telling you. Feller stopped in just this morning, took all 6. Paid me $75 a piece, too.
You sold 6 rifles to 1 man?
That's right, Marshal.
Was he a buffalo hunter?
Well, looked more like a drifter to me. Had plenty of cash, though.
You know his name?
No idea. Nothing wrong with it, was there, Marshal? Been a hold-up around here I haven't heard about?
No. Just a lot of rifles for 1 man to buy.
No law again it, is there?
What'd this man look like, Jack?
Tall, skinny, kind of mean face.
Mm-hmm. You wear 1 6-gun with black grips?
Yeah. Come to think of it, he did. You know him?
Yeah. Ord Spicer. He killed a man last night.
Well, now I heard about that shooting. What do you suppose he's up to now?
Where'd he go?
I wouldn't know it. Packed the rifles on a mule and rode out of town. You going after him, Marshal?
No. It's like you say, Jack. There's no law against a man buying all the rifles he wants. Seems strange, that's all. Well, let's settle on the price for those screeners, huh? Next day, Chester and I took the new greeners and rode out for prairie chicken. We had a sackful within an hour, and we headed back to town, arguing on the way as to whether we'd bake the birds whole or just cut the breasts off and broil them. We still hadn't settled the matter when we reached Dodge, and we never did. The stage from Hayes City had arrived half hour before, bringing with it the bodies of 2 men found alongside the road.
They were just laying there, Marshal, about 5 miles back. Both shot dead, but I thought I'd better bring them in anyway.
Did you recognize them, Pete?
No, Marshal, I didn't. The doc says they're a couple of riders from the T-Bar outfit.
Yeah.
He got them up in his office now.
You bringing their horses?
No sign of a horse, but there was an awful lot of tracks around.
All right. I'll go see if Doc's found anything. Hang around, Pete, will you? I may want some more information from you.
Okay if I do my waiting at the Alfraganza, Marshal?
Yeah, sure.
I'll put our horses up, Mr. Dillon.
Yours, Chester. I may want mine.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hello, Marshal. Just finishing up here. Be right with you.
How'd they die, Doc?
Well, they got half shot and then shot dead, Marshal.
Yeah, I know, but is there any way of telling if maybe they killed each other?
That does it. No, there is, Marshal, but I'd be mighty surprised if they did.
Now, what do you mean, Doc?
Well, they were cowboys, Marshal. Cowboys just don't generally carry buffalo guns. Here, take a look.
What?
I dug some of these out of each of them. Those are slugs from a Sharp's rifle, Marshal.
Yeah, sure are.
Mm-hmm. That one's the best I found, right there.
Mm-hmm. What caliber did you say this is, Doc?
Oh, I'd guess 44.
44 Sharps.
Mm-hmm. Not many 44s in use around here since the Big 50 came out.
I know a man with 6 of them, Doc.
Huh? What do you think of that?
I'll let you know when I get back. So long, Doc. The stage driver rode with me back to where he'd found the bodies, and from there I rode on alone. It was an easy trail at first. There must have been more than a dozen horses running together. Long toward dusk, however, they suddenly split up, and I was faced with 2 different trails to follow. I made a gambler's choice and rode harder than ever. There was only an hour of light left to track by when my horse stepped into a prairie dog hole, snapped his leg, and went over hard. My head glanced off a rock. There was a shower of light, and nothing.
That's him, all right. That's Dillon. He's the marshal at Dodge I told you about.
I think he is not dead.
Stop.
Put away your gun.
But you can't let him live. He'd kill us, all right. I'm going to kill him anyway.
You die for it if you do.
Okay. You're the boss. But you'll wish I'd shot him.
There. He's coming to now. We take care of him our own way. White Cloud, pick up his guns.
Yeah, he isn't hurt. Just knocked out, that's all.
Indians. Cheyennes.
I'm no Indian, Marshal.
Spicer. Yeah. Sure.
No tricks now, Marshal. These redskins will shoot you to pieces.
Yeah. Are those new Sharps 44s you bought them, huh, Spicer?
It's no business of yours, Marshal. Not now. You're through. You're all the way through.
Spicer, you're under arrest.
What?
I said you're under arrest.
Now, Marshal, what are you arresting me for? Not that it matters much.
For selling guns to Indians and on suspicion of murder.
All right, so I'm under arrest, but, Marshal, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
How are you going to take me in, that's all? Just how are you going to manage it?
I'll worry about that.
You sure will. Come on, Wild Hog, let's shoot him and get it over with.
This is a man of much heart. I admire his courage. To stand with death on all sides and arrest a man. No, we will not kill him. Not yet.
But you can't take him with us.
White Cloud, give him a horse. Come.
They gave me a horse, all right, with the T-Bar brand on it. But I was surrounded by 6 armed Indians and a no-good white who'd shoot me any time he thought he could get by with it. Wild Hog rode up ahead, leading the party northwest, apparently to rendezvous with a bunch that had split off from this one. Spicer stayed right alongside of me.
Well, am I still under arrest, Marshal?
You're still guilty, aren't you?
Sure. I'll admit it. Don't matter, being as how you'll never see Dodge again or any other place.
What are you doing with these Cheyennes here anyway, Spicer?
I got a deal with Wild Hog, Marshal. Real good deal.
Killing white men, part of it?
They don't need any help there, Marshal. They like to kill white men.
Maybe they'll kill you before they're through.
No, I'm too valuable to them. They like me.
No? Now, why would they like you?
Well, they didn't at first, but I talked them into it. Talked Wild Hog into it. He's a smart fella, that Indian. Saw right away what I could do for him. Like buying those rifles.
What else did you do for him?
Well, I stopped those 2 riders with the horses. Told them I was sick. Got them off guard. Those Cheyennes were on before they could move. It was real easy.
You're kind of like a Judas sheep in a slaughter pen, huh?
Yeah, that's it, Marshal. Pays better, though. I got $500 coming as soon as we find a ranch or 2 to raid.
I see.
Pretty good deal, huh?
You know, I think a lot more of these Indians than I do of you, Spicer.
I don't like that, Marshal.
At least they got an argument on their side. But you're just a renegade white.
I'll kill you for that, Marshal.
Now, shut up.
All right, you've asked for it.
Shoot me and Wild Hog will split you wide open, Spicer. Besides, he's spotted the rest of his party up there.
Huh? Oh, yeah. All right for now, Marshal. But I'll see you dead. I promise I'll see you dead.
I was still alive 2 days later when we crossed the Smoky Hill River about 100 miles northwest of Dodge. There were 15 Cheyennes in the party. And day and night, 2 of them, by turns, never took their eyes off of me. They seemed anxious for an excuse to cut my throat. I had to watch every movement I made. It looked pretty hopeless. Wild Hog was smart, and he took no chances. But often he and I rode along together, though always flanked by my 2 warrior guards.
Country is greener already. Better every mile.
Why have you been raiding so far south, Wild Hog, if you like this land better?
We are northern Cheyenne, Marshal, from the Bighorn Mountains. The Army took us south to a reservation in the Oklahoma Territory.
Oh, so that's it. You jumped your reservation, huh?
Why should we live in a hot, flat land that has no game?
But the Army will be after you again. You've broken the law.
Whose law? Ours or yours?
All right, Wild Hog. But the Indian has a law against murder. You've broken that twice that I know of.
Cheyenne does not speak of it as murder to kill his enemy.
Those cowboys weren't your enemy, Wild Hog. They weren't fighting you.
The Army drove us from our home in the mountains. The Army took our horses from us. We are going back home now on other horses, that's all.
That doesn't explain your killing. Those men were peaceful.
Marshal, if I could, I would kill every white man in the country. But I cannot. The Indian nations cannot. The red man has always fled before the white man.
Those cowboys weren't chasing you?
We needed their horses.
They didn't even have a chance to fight. You tricked them.
Is it only the white man who is allowed to trick his enemy? I was young once, Marshal, but I have seen too much trickery and lies and destruction and broken promises.
I'll admit that's happened, Wild Hog. But you know, not every man is a liar and a killer.
No. There are white men like you. And there are white men like Spicer.
Spicer. Tell me something. Would you consider Ord Spicer guilty of murder?
The Indian is Spicer's enemy, not his own people. Therefore, it is murder.
Then you understand why it's Spicer I came after, not you.
Why not me, Marshal?
You're the Army's problem, not mine.
I expect to fight the Army many times before we reach the mountains.
Yeah. What are your plans for me, Wild Hog?
I have been thinking.
Yeah?
I do not know yet.
Well, what about Spicer?
Spicer works for me. Why should I think about him?
Then you're not as smart as I figured.
All right, Marshal. I do not trust Spicer. He is a traitor to his own people and only for money. I have rifles now and enough horses. I do not need Spicer.
You're going to kill him?
Why not? He is only another white man.
You said yourself you can't kill all the white men.
If you were free, Marshal, you would take him back and let other white men kill him. What difference how he dies?
Makes a difference to me, Wild Hog. I'm a lawman.
I may have to kill you, too.
You're a hard man to be friends with.
I will explain to you, Marshal. It matters little about any Indian. Few more winters and not many of my people will be alive. I do not complain of our fate. Tribe follows tribe, nation follows nation. It is the law of nature. The white man's turn to be defeated and to disappear will come. It is just a matter of time. And so we may be brothers after all, Marshal.
I'm not sure I believe all of that, Wild Hog.
Of course not. Still, I recognize you as a warrior among your people, as I am a warrior among mine.
Too bad we're not on the same side.
As long as we are brave and willing to die, it does not matter. I ride ahead now. You stay with the others.
That night, we reached the North Fork of the Solomon River and camped with the shadow of low hills not many miles ahead. Wild Hog ordered my guards to keep me some distance from the rest of the party. So I pulled up some buffalo grass and bedded down on it early. I watched the stars until sleep came. Next thing I heard was the sound of horses fading off in the distance. The two braves guarding me had disappeared, so I got up and walked carefully back to where the Cheyennes were camped. There, a couple of horses stood tied to a bush, but they were alone. The Indians had left. I stopped for a moment to listen. And then, suddenly, I saw the figure of a man lying in the moonlight about 20 feet off. Spicer? Spicer? Yeah, there's no blood on you. You're all right. Come on a minute, man. Come on.
Yeah. My hair.
You've been knocked out, that's all. Now, come on, sit up.
Oh, it's you, Marshal.
What happened? Where are they? Where's Wild Hog?
They've gone.
Gone? Gone where? Here, let me... Where'd they go?
They've been headed for the Bighorn Mountains. Best chance of running into the army if they travel at night.
But they couldn't leave me. Not here. Not now.
Looks like they did. Some brave clubbed you and they rode off, that's all.
But I gotta go with them.
You're still groggy, Spicer. And you're still under arrest. Remember?
You can't take me in, Marshal. Wild Hog will be back. He won't let you.
Why do you think he left you here, Spicer?
We're friends. Big friends, me and Wild Hog.
You got no friends. You don't belong in anybody's camp. And I'm taking you back to Dodge anyway.
That murdering redskin.
He's a better man than you, Spicer. He's brave and he's willing to die. Now, come on, we got a long ride back.
Gunsmoke, under the direction of Norman Macdonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Featured in tonight's cast were Harry Bartell, Larry Dobkin, Herb Vigran, and Jack Crucian. Parley Bayer is Chester, and Howard McNear is Dark. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.